Unrivaled League needs Caitlin Clark, and they are preparing to offer her a massive deal.
I guarantee you, TNT is pressuring Unrivaled to sign Caitlin Clark. TNT, I wouldn't be surprised if they offered her $10 million a year, because without Caitlin Clark, the only place these ratings are going is directly in the pooper.
Not too long ago, Unrivaled was acting like Caitlin Clark wasn't even worth their attention. But now, they're practically rolling out the red carpet, begging her to join their league. What changed so suddenly? Let's dig into how they went from ignoring her to offering her a deal so big it screams desperation. Trust me, what they're doing to get her on their side is next level wild. You're not gonna believe it. From the start to the finish of the WNBA season, it seemed like everyone, media, experienced players, and even fans, treated Caitlin Clark like she was just another athlete. Her achievements were constantly brushed aside, and some even seemed jealous of her success. They pushed this narrative that the entire WNBA was booming in popularity, hyping up a supposed rookie class that was changing the game. Even Unrivaled jumped on the bandwagon of dismissing her. But let's face it, that attitude hasn't held up well over time.
Caitlin Clark has been flat out balling, and she has elevated her level of play to a point. There is no debate.
Unrivaled, the new kid on the block, is suddenly acting like a completely different league. Not long ago, they were even caught liking posts that threw shade at Caitlin Clark on their official Instagram. Talk about bad optics. But now, they've made a complete U-turn. And this shift just so happens to align perfectly with their shiny new TV deal. It's pretty obvious. They want to protect that deal. And now they're realizing they might really need Caitlin to make it all work.
Because they left 2 wildcard spots open. Even in a press release today, Unrivaled said that they would be trying to court players up until the start of the season and even during the season. So perhaps they're still hoping for a change of heart. It has to be sobering news, though, because they've been upfront how much Clark playing would mean.
In the beginning, Unrivaled acted like they had everything figured out and didn't really need Caitlin Clark to make their league work. They were all about showing off their roster of 30 top women's basketball players, claiming it was enough. But now, they've opened up 6 more spots, bringing the total to 36. This seems like a clear move to leave room for someone big. Maybe Caitlin herself. Their attitude has flipped so quickly it's almost comical. It's as if they suddenly realized, wait a minute, we might actually need her. The same people who brushed her off are now bending over backward to get her in the league. Clearly, making this happen has become a top priority for them, no matter what it takes. It would have been smart if Unrivaled had come forward months ago and openly said, Caitlin Clark is a top priority for us. She's exactly the kind of player we want in our league. Her presence would be a game changer, and we'd love to bring her fans along too. But nope, they stayed quiet and missed that opportunity. So, what's with this sudden change of heart? Here's the thing. When Unrivaled launched, their roster was packed with skilled players. But let's be real, most of them aren't exactly household names. No disrespect to those athletes, but when you're starting something new, you need a superstar to grab attention. That's what Caitlin Clark offers. Undeniable star power. Unrivaled is doing everything they can to bring Caitlin Clark into the fold. They're not just offering her a hefty paycheck, they're even willing to give her part ownership in the league. That's right, they've gone from barely acknowledging her to practically putting her on a pedestal, all in record time. There's even talk that Clark could be getting an offer on par with what Lionel Messi received, something massive to lock her into their startup 3-on-3 league.
Today, that Caitlin Clark could receive a Lionel Messi-like offer to play in Unrivaled startup 3-on-3 league, which is a full court press to sign.
It's like trying to create a winning team, but forgetting to include the star players who actually draw the crowd. The league president recently made it clear that Caitlin Clark will always have a spot waiting for her. They're not pushing her too hard right now, giving her space to recover from a long basketball season. But the message is simple. When she's ready, the door is wide open. Now here's the twist. It's not just Unrivaled changing its tune. Remember when WNBA star Breanna Stewart suggested Clark needed to win a championship to cement her legacy? The idea was that people would look back years later and focus on the trophies, not just the stats. Fast forward to today, and everyone seems to be singing Clark's praises. It's as if they finally realized, wow, she's the real deal. Unrivaled has done a complete U-turn, going from doubters to desperate admirers in no time. The harsh truth they're facing is this: without a player like Caitlin Clark, their league simply doesn't have the kind of star power needed to draw viewers and challenge established competitors. It's a dramatic shift, but it underscores just how essential big names are in the sports world. Let's take a moment to think about why Unrivaled exists in the first place. Their main goal seems to be taking on the WNBA directly. But is that even realistic? The WNBA has been around for decades, with a solid reputation and loyal fan base. If Unrivaled manages to pull it off, they could grow their season and eventually become serious competition for the established league. Unrivaled does have some big-time support behind them. They recently signed a major deal with TNT, which gives them the financial backing to offer impressive salaries to their players. This TV deal is reportedly for over 45 primetime games, spanning 6 years, and could be worth more than $100 million. That kind of money gives them the tools to lure talent and establish themselves. But here's the catch: this flashy deal doesn't guarantee success. Their entire plan is built on shaky ground. Instead of focusing on ticket sales, Unrivaled is putting all their eggs in the TV ratings basket. Their arena? It only seats 800 people. That's not even close to what's needed to create real buzz. It's more like the size of a school gym. No matter how big their plans sound, it's clear they've got some serious hurdles to overcome. As reported by the Miami Herald, Unrivaled isn't putting much energy into ticket sales, which, honestly, makes sense. Their real focus is on TV ratings, as that's where most of their funding is coming from, thanks to their deal with TNT. The games will take place in a 130,000 square foot facility, but here's the catch: the actual gym for games is tiny, with what sounds like simple bleacher seating. Not exactly what you'd expect for a league aiming to make a big splash. And it doesn't stop there. The league season is set to run from January to March, arguably the busiest and most competitive stretch in the sports calendar. Think about it. You've got the NFL wrapping up its regular season, the playoffs, and the Super Bowl. Add in college basketball conference play and March Madness, plus the NBA picking up steam after the holidays. It's a tough lineup to go up against. For a new 3-on-3 women's basketball league, drawing attention during this time feels like trying to build a sandcastle while a giant wave is crashing down. It's an uphill battle, to say the least. Unrivaled is going all in to bring Caitlin Clark on board, and honestly, it's no surprise. They're offering her a ridiculous deal, over $1 million, a stake in the league, and a chance to be the face of it all. This isn't just about signing a player, it's about saving the league. Without her, they're in a really tight spot. The truth is, Unrivaled hasn't yet secured the one star who could take them to the next level. They've tried hard, credit where it's due, but landing Clark has proven to be a lot tougher than they expected. She's the player who could make headlines, draw fans, and give their league the attention it so badly needs. Without her, things could fall apart before they even get started. Now let's talk about their roster. While they've signed some solid talent like Aaliyah Edwards, Alyssa Thomas, Chelsea Gray, Kalia Copper, and Aaliyah Boston, none of these names have the star power to turn heads. Sure, they're skilled players, but when it comes to building hype or drawing casual fans, they just don't have the pull. It's clear Unrivaled needs a game changer, and right now, Caitlin Clark is the only one who fits the bill. Now, let's stack Unrivaled's roster up against the WNBA's. Over there, you've got big-time names like Brittany Griner, Aja Wilson, and Brianna Stewart. Players who not only dominate on the court, but also fill seats and grab headlines. Meanwhile, Unrivaled's lineup doesn't exactly have that kind of star power. Sure, they've got talent, but they're missing the big names that casual fans instantly recognize. And in a brand new league, that kind of star power isn't just nice to have. it's essential. These players aren't just athletes, they're marketing gold. They bring in crowds, create buzz on social media, and sell tickets like no one else. Without that level of visibility, Unrivaled is having a tough time getting people excited about what they're trying to build. Caitlin Clark isn't just a talented player, she's a game changer. When she steps on the court, people tune in. It's as simple as that. Her presence can boost ratings, fill seats, and bring a buzz that Unrivaled desperately needs right now. It's no wonder they're pulling out all the stops to get her. Honestly, if I were in their shoes, I'd be doing the same thing. Unrivaled isn't just offering her a spot on the roster. They're giving her the chance to be the face of the entire league. It's a bold strategy, but it might be their only real shot at creating momentum. That said, even if they manage to sign Clark, the league still has a mountain to climb. Having one star player is great, but it's not enough to carry an entire league. And to make things even tougher, Unrivaled has some questionable decisions in the mix. For example, they've carved out space for content creation, which makes people wonder, what's the priority here? Is this a basketball league or a reality TV show? Sure, they've denied the reality show rumors, but it's hard to ignore the odd setup. Why dedicate part of their limited space to making content when the gym itself is already so small? Are they planning podcasts, YouTube videos, promotional reels? It's confusing because this is supposed to be a professional basketball league. Moves like this leave a lot of people scratching their heads. How exactly does Unrivaled plan to survive when they're up against established leagues with massive fan bases and huge arenas? They're banking everything on TV ratings. Their deal with TNT is where most of their funding is coming from, and they're hoping people will tune in from their couches, even if the stands remain mostly empty. It's a risky gamble, but is it enough to keep them afloat? Unrivaled isn't just competing for live audiences. They're fighting for every single viewer in an already crowded sports landscape. Fans have endless choices, from NFL playoffs to March Madness, so standing out is no small task. And while putting all their focus on TV might seem like a smart strategy, there's a twist that could change everything. It all hinges on one player, Caitlin Clark. This is where things get real. Unrivaled's future is hanging by a thread, and that thread is Clark's decision. Will she sign or will she pass? It's like the final seconds of a nail-biter game, and everyone is holding their breath. Without her, Unrivaled could be over before it even starts. Their roster isn't exactly thrilling. Their venue is tiny, and they're up against sports giants with decades of fan loyalty. Clark isn't just a player for them. She's their lifeline. Time is running out, and Unrivaled knows it. The question is, will Clark step in and save the league, or will she decide to stay on the sidelines and watch it struggle? Either way, her choice will define Unrivaled's future. Whatever happens next, it's going to shake things up in a big way. Are you ready for it? Because this is the moment that changes everything.